So this is only for right triangles. Basic trigonometric ratios, we're going to look at naming the opposite side, the adjacent side, and the hypotenuse. That's all we're going to look at for the first part, and then later on we'll do an actual example. But what I want you to do right now is to draw a right triangle. And in this bottom left corner, I'm going to call this is not an actual term, but I'm going to use it today to explain like the rest of the lesson, but this is not a real term. I'm just making it up. Angle of focus. So for all of this, the angle of focus, I'm going to choose that. It's never going to be the right angle, but it's either going to be this acute angle or the top acute angle. So angle of focus, that's what I'm saying. We're focusing on this angle right now. And then I'm going to write down what the opposite side is. So the opposite side is always the side furthest, that looks weird, furthest from the angle of focus. Which means, if I have my pen, here it is, that if this is the angle of focus here, the opposite side is this one. So I'm going to say this is the opposite side. So opposite side is across, farthest away from the angle of focus. Then we have, is that thunder? Nice. Oh, I did get the tornado warning this day. Oh, I'm still recording. Opposite, adjacent, the adjacent side. So adjacent. That side is going to be the side in between the right angle and the angle of focus. That means, well, here's my angle of focus, here's my right angle, the side in between. It's the whole side that I'm labeling, not like a midpoint, not the middle of it, the whole entire side. It's just on one end I have the angle of focus, on the other I have the right angle. So this is going to be the adjacent side. And then my hypotenuse. This one never changes. Never changes. Hypotenuse. Same as before. Side across from right angle. And it's always the longest side. So that means this. And we'll say hypotenuse. Bless you. So some people think about it as this right angle. It's an arrow and it points to the hypotenuse. That doesn't change ever. So we have all of that. If the angle of focus changes, then the hypotenuse is going to stay the same, but these are going to switch because we're basing them off of these descriptions. So if I draw the same right triangle, but I say that this is the angle of focus, then I want you to try and label opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. So if the angle of focus is here, the opposite side is furthest from the angle of focus. So furthest away, that's this one. It's in between this angle. So the opposite is in between over here. So opposite, hypotenuse. and adjacent. So the note here is that the hypotenuse is always across. So the hypotenuse is always across from the right angle, but if the angle of focus changes, so do, that's not how you spell do. So do the opposite and adjacent sides. So example 1, label the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. Opposite side, adjacent side, and hypotenuse. I just abbreviated them. And some people have a hard time drawing these, but try your best. Vertical line, horizontal line to make a right angle. And this will be the angle of focus. Vertical line, horizontal line. This is B. Connect. Right angle. That's the focus. And then the last one is a little bit weird. Focus. So I want you to label all three of these on each of these triangles. So try that. We have the hypotenuse. That's always across from the right angle. Adjacent. That's in between the angle of focus and the right angle. And the opposite, I imagine that there's like a flashlight over here. You always shine it on the opposite wall. Opposite. So we have that. That is good. Opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. Perfect. This one, adjacent. Oops. And then that's opposite. Yep.